The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development. With a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives, at The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Are you tired of hearing, believe in yourself and anything is possible? Believe in yourself and magic will happen. Believing in yourself is the secret to success. In my coaching sessions, two things pop up continuously, which is clarity and confidence. How can I be confident? How can I show more security? How can I project more confidence? These are common questions I frequently get asked by my clients. But really, what does it mean to believe in oneself? Let me tell you a story. A few years back, I had people close to me who were struggling with weight and believing in their own potential and power. Every time I tried to help them, they will tell me, well, you're thin, so you don't understand. And even though I had to have, and I did some diets, health related, they were right. I've been mostly all my life thin. So I decided to take on a diet challenge and I signed up for something normal, a fitness competition. My confidence in doing this, 0. My belief about this making sense, quite low. My belief about being badly judged, very, very high. So I actually chose not to share this project as I fear being derailed. But I thought it was an important thing actually for me to accomplish, and I was not going to shy away. I actually thought that the hardest thing would be all the weight training and all the dieting, but I found out that actually the hardest thing was the day of the competition. Do you know how a fitness competition is? Neither did I. I had signed up for a competition that I have never seen or heard anything about. Not on TV, not on live, nothing. Yes, and sometimes not knowing can be a blessing, or not. On arriving early to the event, I signed up for 3 categories. Do you know how the categories function on a fitness competition? Neither did I. My first challenge was to get into a very, very tiny bikini that looks bigger in the pictures. I'm Spanish, and in Spain, yeah, we go topless on the beach, but I'm the type that likes a little bit bigger bikinis. Anyway, so afterwards, you need to get all brown, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you know how you get all that stuff on? Neither did I. 2 men, my trainer and a guy that I have never met in my life, start putting that butter brown thing all over my body everywhere. And then they ask you to open the arms, spread the legs, and they start tapping, so that it goes and looks really smooth. I was really self-conscious. After that, you cannot touch anything or sit. Thank God I didn't go to the toilet. So we were there for 8 hours. The competition started and I thought I'm going to hide behind someone or just peek and see how they do it. And I was picked to be the first in the line. So there is no peeking, there is no hiding. Did I have confidence in myself when I went into the competition? No. Did I gain confidence after the competition? Yes. Did I gain confidence on myself in all areas of my life? No. Did I believe more in myself after the competition? Not exactly. Who I believe I was not changed by this event, but I did gain new beliefs and I stacked more evidence of my own power. It was a reminder for me of 4 things. Set a crazy goal, work on it with a plan, don't get attached to the outcome, and enjoy the process. And then when I set my mind to do something, it happens. Maybe not quite with the result I expected. Well, this time I got 3 trophies. I am really happy about that. But that was not my goal. It was a byproduct, and so was the confidence boost that I got. So it's key to make a distinction between believing in oneself and being confident. They're 2 different things. Believing is tied to thoughts, to values, is the cause. Confidence is tied to feelings and actions, is the effect. Believing asks questions. Am I capable of doing this? Can a future me do this? Confidence should not ask questions. It should act. But before we dive into this, why should we care? about the difference. As Dr. Daphna Shohami, a neuroscientist in Columbia University Sacramento Institute, says, the primary purpose of our brain is to predict the outcomes of our behavior. That's the most important utility of the brain. Is why we form memories, to be able to accurately predict the future. And this ability to predict the future and plan is what allowed us as humans to thrive as species for thousands of years. So the brain detects patterns and wants to put everything in buckets to classify things in a way that it stacks as many things as possible in those buckets. How do you know a chair is a chair? With so many different types of chairs. When you think of a chair, your mind has this picture. Yet it's capable of distinguishing that what it has in front, even though it's completely different to what you have in your mind, is in fact a chair. But sometimes those buckets, when it comes to experiences, feelings, beliefs, past stories, it holds too many things in one bucket. The buckets are way too big. Our brain may put in the same bucket all men, all women, all Black people, all white people, all my money experiences. So when it comes to judging others and ourselves, it also makes generalizations that might not be so helpful. So usually when we talk about confidence, self-esteem, self-belief, trust, we might put it in the same bucket, which make it harder for a person to distinguish what's really stopping them from moving forward or taking action and playing a smaller version of their own lives. Words have a lot of power. And sometimes making small distinctions can give us tremendous power.
It is said that we live in a world our questions create. And it's true. Those that have succeeded in life, those that stand out, those that have made a difference, those that are inventing, those that are exploring, pushing the boundaries of reality are based on those that have asked themselves empowering questions. In my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I help you find your true purpose, find your legacy. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering, or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
So what is self-confidence? The dictionary definition of confidence is to be certain about something or feeling sure of yourself and your abilities. An example of confidence is the way an expert public speaker feels going on before a crowd. Interesting. Notice the word expert? It didn't say the way a novice speaker feels in front of a crowd or the way a non-speaker feels in front of a crowd. Self-confidence is usually the result of overcoming certain obstacles or by working to improve a skill, like public speaking or dancing. Self-confidence, therefore, can be learned. Hear this. Self-confidence can be learned. It's extrinsic. It can be defined as the way we project ourselves to the world. You can think of confidence as something similar to our muscles. Most of the people have muscles, right? Some muscles are really visible. Some people, you can tell they have exaggerated big muscles. And some people seems like they have no muscles, but they're really strong. It's the same with confidence. Some people show really confident. Some people don't. But some people are really confident even they don't show it. Confidence is built. It comes from experience, from action. These allow us to decipher how good we are at something. I saw this as an engineer. I see with my dance students. When they start, they have no confidence at all, and they're really shy and in the shy way. And then once they start dancing and moving, and they really gain new skills as dancers, you can see their confidence boosting and their social skills improving. Confidence is an effect. It's not a cause. It comes as a byproduct of choosing and goal-consistent action. Wanting the confidence first before doing the action is like wanting to play the piano without ever touching a piano, or dancing without ever going into the dance floor, or wanting to get paid before doing the job. Confidence grows with action. I'm going to repeat that. Confidence grows with action, the same as with the muscles. If you can't build confidence, though, through doing, then your beliefs need to be revised. Your inner talks need to be examined. The stories that you tell yourself must be tweaked. Here is where self-beliefs comes in. They are the backbone of our confidence. So what is self-belief? Self-belief is the way you feel and think about yourself, regardless of your achievements, your looks, or other things you may feel confident in. Achievements help, but how many people with major achievements feel unworthy, insecure, not confident? Self-belief is the support that gives you courage to follow your ideas and to create the life you want. Self-belief is trusting that what you think is the best course of action for you. It is the understanding that whatever choice you make, things will work out for you for the best. What you fundamentally believe about yourself is what can really make the difference between settling for a life or getting the life that you want. A self-belief and not confidence will affect what you do, what you learn, and what you accomplish. Your job and income level are based on your self-beliefs. Your friends are based on your self-beliefs. How you present yourself is based on your self-beliefs. To me, the relationship between confidence and self-belief can be compared to a tree. The trunk of the tree is strong and sturdy. It's your self-belief. Where the leaves, like our confidence, can be blown away when the weather is unsettled or it changes with the seasons. The tree has its own unique strength. It can lose a branch or two, but it will grow back stronger than before. It can withstand many elements, sometimes bend. It has to flow with nature, but the roots are strong and stay upright. So to me, self-belief is what keeps you going when times get tough, a fundamental inner strength that helps you bounce back and continue with your dreams, no matter what others may tell you. Building confidence has its place, of course. However, working on self-belief and looking at the barriers that stop you from being your best you provide the foundation for lasting change. When I work with my clients, I see a lot of untapped potential, and that's what gets me excited to help untap all that potential. Your beliefs determine how much you tap into your own potential, which will determine how much and which actions you take, which will give a result, which will feed into and affect your beliefs. This is what Tony Robbins calls the belief and success cycle. I call it the growth cycle, as you can tweak this in any part of the cycle. When I moved to the US, I got an amazing job at a company as a software engineer. When I started working, everything was new, and I had little or no frame of reference to compare to. After some time, I noticed, though, that whenever there was a problem and things to discuss, my inputs were disregarded sooner than that of a colleague of mine. Let's call him John. They were listening more to John than me in meetings, and it only bothered me because it made our work less efficient, as sometimes our team arrived to the conclusion I had initially presented. I hold the belief that there's always something I can do or something that I can shift in my mind to move forward. So what could I do to make this work better? I was one of very few foreigners and the only woman in a team of 35 men. I started observing what was different between him and me. And besides the obvious, I'm a woman, he's a man, I'm foreigner, he's not, one day I realized that his communication was different than mine. John talked confident and I talked politeness. Politeness for me meant that in English, I had to use words like I think, maybe, could be, might, before getting to the point. So by the time I got to that point, I did not sound confident. I realized that one day that we were working, I was sitting in front of the computer, and John came and said, this is the solution. And I suddenly realized he never uses all these words. And I made actually another distinction, which was that John didn't sound unpolite. So this belief that I needed all these words for my English, at least in the USA, in England, it might be different, was wrong. And I decided to stop using all these words from now on in the meetings and discussions that we were having. And in those, I went straight to the point. And the situation changed completely. My proposals were heard a lot more in the discussion, so much so that I started being told that I was really rigorous, firm, to the point, a little pushy, but with strong contribution. And I was shocked how this little change could mean so much in my work and can influence my communication. And I saw a process that I've been using and teaching over and over. Observe, first of all. Get awareness of what's going on. We cannot change what we're not aware of. Process. Make distinction. What is the belief that does not serve you? Do you need to change anything? What better questions can you ask regarding this matter? Then decide who you want to be. I wanted to be polite, but I wanted to be effective. I needed to change something. I wanted rather to be effective than being polite. Then act. Choose one thing. It can be a little tiny thing, whatever. It doesn't matter the size, but something that moves you forward. And then experiment with it. Now, any result that we have can be interpreted as negative or positive. And that's where our mind needs to have the watchdog on, and it needs to be awake and alert. Be careful not to fall in the downward spiral and make this growth cycle a shrink cycle.
To find out about my latest projects, get a free coaching lesson, or download my book, go to www.bernardo-moya.com.
I could have chosen a very different way of reasoning. I don't have as much knowledge as these other colleagues. Oh, poor me. I'm a woman. I'm a foreigner. I don't speak well English. And blame something else and not make change to improve this problem. In some cases, the situation is more complex and there is discriminations involved. That was not the case here, and it's not the point of this story. The point is to illustrate a process that will move you forward in your life and increase your self-belief. Watch for these deeper reasons which can keep you stuck in patterns, continuing to be defined by past traumas that haven't been reframed. Having an identity story based on the past and not the future. Your subconscious wanting to keep you consistent with your former self. Having an environment that supports your current identity or that doesn't support you at all. These are levels that you can control. When you change, reframe, or manage them, your beliefs and therefore your life can change in an intentional and remarkable way. Your brain is not designed to build your confidence, your self-belief, or your self-esteem. It is designed to keep you safe and alive, and therefore to make you afraid of so many things that can hurt you or kill you. A few years back, I lost my hearing. I had a sudden hearing loss of my left ear, and it changed tremendously my world. I had to relearn how to navigate many situations and things in my life. One time, me and my boyfriend were going with some friends from Cape Cod in Massachusetts to an island called Martha's Vineyard, taking a ferry. We bought round-trip tickets, and my boyfriend told me, "Here, take the ongoing tickets, and I will keep the return tickets." So when we boarded on the ferry, I gave the outgoing tickets, and we went on this wonderful trip that lasted the whole day. On our way back, when we went to take the ferry back to Cape Cod, my boyfriend asked me about the return tickets, the ones I supposedly had kept for our return tickets. And I told him, "No, you have the return tickets. I had the outgoing tickets." And I actually gave them on my way there. Since we were friends, we didn't realize that we both had given the ongoing tickets, so we had no return tickets. He started telling me that he had clearly told me that I had the return tickets, and I was 100% sure that he had told me that I had the outgoing tickets. We got into this discussion, well, let's call it a fight, and I ended up breaking in tears because I was frustrated, first of all, with not having anyone understand me, and then at the same time, I was scared because who was right? He was so sure he had told me and was asking me, "Why didn't you tell me that you didn't hear me?" And I was 100% sure I've heard everything, and it was the opposite. And I couldn't grasp what had happened. Because I recently lost my hearing, I felt I could not trust anything that I heard anymore. And at that moment, I gained huge empathy for the elderly, who sometimes we think sound like crazy and say things that don't make sense, and they claim that they heard something different. And I realized that when you don't hear well, your brain fills in the gaps. But when you have hearing problems, it actually fills a lot of gaps. Your brain is not telling you, "Warning, you're not listening. This is not right. You're not hearing right." It just fills in the gap and creates new sentences, and you can't tell. So I could not trust anything that I heard. So how could I function now? I sat on a bench sobbing and thinking, how am I going to do this? If I don't know what's true and what's not true, what I heard, what I didn't hear, if this is really the sentence that someone told me, or if I invented it, well, this was my new situation and I needed to deal with it. Don't take me wrong, this didn't take me a minute. It took me a little while. I started thinking, well, how do the pilots do? The pilots have to do what they call the read back instead of the Roger that. They cannot just say, okay, I heard it. Okay, Roger. No, they have to repeat word by word so that they know exactly that what they heard is what the people told them. So they have 100% accurate communication. Now, having conversations with everyone like that, like a pilot, it will drive everybody crazy. It will drive me crazy and the people talking to me. It will be a nightmare to repeat absolutely everything that I'm told back in every conversation. Not an option. But then and there, I made the decision that this was not going to stop me from being normal and relating in a normal way and speaking in a normal way. And I understood and accepted that sometimes a conversation with me may not flow, or I will respond to questions that were not asked exactly that way, or say something that didn't sound really part of the conversation, or it may sound out of place. But I also made the decision that whenever something very important was told, or I thought that it was very important, I was going to make sure to repeat it back and do the repeat back and not the Roger that, so that my communication will be better. Then and there, I made a choice to not damage my self-belief and go into a downward cycle and practice every day so that my loss of hearing would not translate into a loss of confidence and self-belief. Your brain will try to stop you from putting yourself in risky situations, so you have to train it to trust and to do the things that you want. Paradoxically, your brain formulates its most powerful memories and learning as you experience new things, especially when your predictions about the future are wrong. We need certainty, but we also need uncertainty in our lives. As Dr. Shohami explains, our brain changes and learns through prediction errors, which occurs as we incorrectly predict the future. A prediction error is another term for failing. So failing for our brain is learning. And learning is another term for changing and growing. If you want to accelerate your learning, you'll need to embrace uncertainty. If you want to grow your confidence, you need to embrace uncertainty. If you want to believe more in yourself, guess what? You need to embrace uncertainty. You need to take risks, make mistakes. And as you do, you experience far more emotions. You experience highs and lows. And through those experiences, you will acquire some new beliefs or tweak some existing ones that will affect your self-belief. You change as a person, and the trunk of your tree will get stronger. So believing in yourself means claiming self-authority. Don't expect confidence in something before even trying to do it, and replace "I'm not confident" with "what can I do to improve in this area?" Often our negative thoughts are so much part of our autopilot that we just assume they're true. Things like meditation and visualization helps you to notice them as they are, just thoughts. And you're reminded that believing them is a choice. So if you catch yourself saying, "can't do this," "don't have enough confidence," "I don't trust myself," stop. Observe. Explore. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of where your focus is. Process what's going on. What are the things you can change? What do you need to add to your life? What do you need to remove from your life? What new meaning can you give to these? Then decide who you want to be, decide what you want to do, and act. Tiny actions, but act. Also find people who can support you and your journey. Connect with people who bring out the best in you. And also those who challenge your status quo or your comfort zone, who has the best interest for you in their heart, but not with a blind faith. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be a coach, it can be a therapist. So what does it mean to believe in oneself? For me, it means embracing uncertainty, prediction errors, seeing failure as learning. Don't set your focus on feeling confident on the leaves of the tree. Set your focus on building your trunk. Like Viktor Franklin said, The last of the human freedoms to choose one attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way, choose to believe in yourself every day, and stack evidences to support that. Each time we face our fears, we gain strength, courage, confidence in the doing, as Theodore Roosevelt said. And don't forget to enjoy the journey. Thank you.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.